Hi, this is Joshua Stern with the Stern team at Keller Williams, helping you realize all of your home buying and home selling goals across the entire Wasatch Front. Thanks so much for taking a moment to watch this blog. Today's blog is about football and how it relates to the closing of your home. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to point out two unique features on our site. One is the Instant Home Value tool. You click on that, you can find out the value of your home instantaneously online. And the second is a home search tool, and this is going to give you access, real-time access to all properties that match all of your home buying criteria from all brokerages. So take a moment to look at that. Now back to our topic. So how does football relate to the closing of your property? It is football season, and you probably have watched enough football to know there's 100 yards between me and getting a touchdown. And this is the analogy that I use with the sellers that I work with once an offer is accepted. So once we get an offer accepted, it's like reaching the 50-yard line, because an offer that's written is going to be written contingent most often on several things happening. The first of those would be due diligence. Due diligence is essentially any type of inspection that a buyer would like to do on your property. Now, nationally, 24% of properties that go under contract where an offer is accepted between a buyer and a seller fail. And 80% of those fail because of due diligence. What is due diligence? Well, it's a home inspection. It could be a radon test. It could be driving through the neighborhood and deciding whether the buyers really want to live in the neighborhood. In fact, it could be anything that the buyers want it to be, which is why that failure rate tends to be so high on due diligence. Now, the good news is, if we make it past due diligence, we've just gotten to the 80-yard line. That's a great offense, right? But now our offer is contingent upon financing, because most buyers are going to be getting a loan on the property in order to purchase the home. So financing means that the buyer's gone and talked to a lender, and maybe they've received a pre-qualification, maybe they've received a pre-approval letter. A pre-approval is a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to get that financing. You see, the defense has a secret weapon. It's called an underwriter, and the underwriter is going to look for every reason on planet Earth not to lend the buyer money until they run out of reasons. So certain things can come up. A good agent is going to make sure that they call the lender who's issued the pre-approval letter that they require to submit the offer and ask certain questions. When did they apply for the loan? How long has it been? Have you ran them through an automated underwriting system? Have you verified income? Have you verified the source of the down payment? You want to find out as much as you can up front about their financing situation so we don't have failure. Then we get past the financing. Congratulations, you've made it to the 90-yard line. First down. Now the offer is contingent upon the property appraising for not less than the purchase price. In the last couple of years, market has been moving up. We've had more issues with appraisals, in particular with properties that have experienced multiple offers. A buyer might offer above list price, and the property still has to appraise in order for the buyer to borrow the money. This could be a challenge. If you get a bad appraisal, you still have options. You can renegotiate the price with the buyer. The buyer might just choose to cancel the contract and walk, or sometimes buyers have enough cash to come to the table with the difference between the appraised value and the purchase price value. So now we get through the appraisal. You're only at the 95-yard line, but you can see the end zone. You're right there. You got a couple of good offensive plays in your kitty. We have to get to the settlement table. That's where we sign all the documents with the title company to be able to transfer the deed into the buyer's name. The settlement is usually a week or 2 weeks after that appraisal contingency is expired. Things can go wrong, but they don't normally go wrong. What could go wrong? Well, the buyer could lose his job, or the buyer got a job transfer out of state, or something tragic happened with the buyer's family, or the buyer's health. These are all possibilities, which is why you didn't get a touchdown. But we got to settlement. We signed all the paperwork, and there you are. You're at the 1-yard line. You've got your offensive play in. It's not a touchdown, but we're as close as you can possibly get because the property hasn't funded and recorded. The property must fund and record in order for the seller to receive the money and for the buyer to have the deed put into their name. Things, again, can happen between settlement and funding and recording, which is called closing. It's unlikely, but there could be a buyer tragedy. The underwriter could do a last-minute verification of employment and found out that the buyer quit their job. The underwriter might do a soft credit pull and find out that the buyer went and opened up a bunch of credit lines at a furniture company. Or maybe they co-signed on their brother's car and their debt-to-income ratio now exceeds their ability to purchase the property. These things have and can happen, although they're unlikely. Let's assume none of those things happened. We got to funding and recording. That, my friend, is a touchdown.